With USA Today, I'm Natalie DiBlasio, here with Alison Young of our investigative team. Now, it's not every day that the USA Today investigative team looks into some entertainment news, but some things are just too big to gloss over. Alison, what did you find out?
Well, obviously, the big news this week is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie having a wedding ceremony and getting married. But as we were looking through the very few details the couple has released, something didn't quite add up.
Well, that sounds like it can be pretty scandalous. What did you find out?
Well, they talked about getting married in France by a California judge with a California marriage license. And those are a lot of different jurisdictions that don't seem to mesh when it comes to a legal marriage. And there is a difference. Many people see a wedding as a marriage, but there are actually two separate processes when it comes to the legality of what is a marriage.
So does that mean that they're not married?
No, it probably doesn't mean that, but it raises questions on when they actually got married. And that is a huge deal with obviously one of these couples that everyone's been wondering, when are they going to get married? The issue is that basically when we looked into what the rules are for a California marriage license, it says only that it authorizes a wedding ceremony or a solemnizing ceremony to occur in the state of California. So if, as their spokespeople say, they have a California marriage license and they were married under California law, there had to have been some ceremony in California. And we also looked into what are the rules of getting married in France. We even called the French embassy here in Washington, D.C. And basically the rules in France are you need to have at least one of your ceremonies in France performed by a French government official at a French city hall. So it doesn't sound like that's what occurred.
Okay. So with a couple that's this famous, can we search in maybe a California database to see if they were married there?
You know, obviously when we're doing investigative reporting at USA Today, we follow paper trails and we pull public records. And in many cases, marriage licenses are something that are public. However, as we researched this in California, what we found is that California actually has two classes of marriage licenses. There are public marriage licenses, but there's another classification called a confidential marriage license. And both of them have slightly different rules. The main rule for a confidential marriage license in California is you have to certify you have lived together as if you were husband and wife prior to applying for this license. And obviously this couple would qualify for that.
And then all of this is really just what they've shared with us, right? I mean, they can have a whole mess of details that they just haven't opted to share with the press. So can you talk a little bit about maybe what could have happened?
When we interviewed various experts, it sounds like what may have happened is there may have been some very quick civil ceremony, perhaps with this judge before they left California soil. They may also have some sort of a legal ceremony when they get back on California soil. Again, this is predicated on the facts that they've put forward, which are limited, but they have emphasized that they are married under California law.
Gotcha. Great. Well, thank you so much
Sure.
for joining us, and we'll let you get back to your other investigative reporting.
Absolutely.
For more news on Brad and Angelina, go to life.usatoday.com.